The barn doors were half open, dusk bleeding into the dust. He stood there frozen as voices behind him pleaded, cracked, desperate. Don't do this. His hand hovered over the lever, trembling, knowing exactly what it would unleash. He remembered the years, the shared harvests, the borrowed tools, the favors never written down. Then he pulled. The pump roared to life, forcing the poisoned runoff into the irrigation channel that fed half the town. The smell hit first, sharp and metallic. Someone screamed his name like it might still stop him. He didn't look back. In that moment, the rancher chose profit over people, secrecy over truth. The cattle would be safe, the deal would close, and no one would trace it back to him, so he told himself. But the water kept flowing, relentless, carrying the proof of his choice toward homes that trusted him. He wiped his hands on his jeans, already rehearsing his lie, already hardening his face. The sun dipped below the hills, and with it, the man he used to be vanished. Morning came loud. Coughs echoed from porches. Buckets were dumped, wells sealed, children kept inside. The sheriff's truck crawled the street like a predator, stopping where the water pooled green and wrong. Neighbors gathered in clumps, whispering turned to shouting as samples were taken. Someone remembered the rancher's late-night lights. Someone else remembered the argument by the canal. By noon, the whispers had a spine. They marched. He watched them approach through his kitchen window, people he'd known since boyhood, faces set, eyes burning. You did this, a woman said, not asking. He opened his mouth to explain, to soften it, to make it sound smaller than it was. The words died when the children started coughing again. The sheriff met his eyes, disappointment heavier than anger. The rancher felt the room tilt as his lie collapsed. Outside, a chant rose, uneven but growing. His name was no longer a name, it was an accusation. They took him to the hall, not in cuffs, not yet. He sat alone while the town filled the benches, every footstep a verdict. Testimony stacked like stones. A receipt. A witness. The runoff traced clean and cruel back to his land. He tried to stand, tried to say it was an accident, tried to point to contracts and deadlines that meant nothing here. The mayor's voice cut through him, steady and cold. We trusted you. Trust. He felt it crack, sharp as glass in the throat. The room roared when the sheriff announced charges. He saw his reflection in the darkened window, smaller, older, stripped. Outside, someone threw dirt at the wall, a simple thing that landed with a final sound. He understood then that punishment would be more than a cell. It would be the long years of being seen, of being remembered. Night fell again, quieter now, heavier. He was released on bail, walked home through streets that turned their backs. Porch lights went out as he passed. The ranch lay ahead, wide and empty, every fence a reminder of lines crossed. He sat on the steps until dawn, listening to the land that once answered him and now would not. In the pale light, he imagined leaving, starting over where no one knew his name. The thought dissolved. Some acts don't travel light, they follow. When the sun rose, it revealed what the town had done in the dark, signs hammered into his fence, water cut off, a message painted clear. He didn't tear it down. He stood there, reading it again and again, because it was true. One act had taken everything, and the town would never let him forget it.